A daycare center in Howard County, Maryland is being shut down after police say it was growing marijuana. A tip led police to a house on Baltimore Street serving as a licensed daycare center. Police say it was actually doubling as a marijuana growing operation. The owner of the home was charged with manufacturing, production, and distribution of marijuana. D.C. City Council is proposing a new regulation on health and safety that puts tattoo artists and body piercers in a tough spot. They argue the current safety precautions are not enough. Isabella Diaz has the latest.
If you want to get inked or pierced in the district, your main concerns are usually what to get and where to get it done. But if a new DC safety proposal were to pass, customers would have to wait 24 hours after the initial consultation visit before getting tattooed or pierced. In addition, anyone who seemed to have a communicable disease would have to be turned away. Some shop owners say this sounds like government overreach.
To try to force people to wait 24 hours to get tattooed, to me that says you can't make good decisions, so we're going to make them for you. And that's not what the government's supposed to do. The government also shouldn't tell me that I can't tattoo someone that has hepatitis or AIDS. I've tattooed people with both. I don't have it. I don't transmit it.
Though DC is one of the few places in the U.S. with no official government regulation for tattoo artists or piercers, safety precautions, such as sterilizing instruments and changing needles, are usually implemented by all good shop owners.
So I think that it's very subjective, and I think that sort of regulation would just make people feel insecure, and like it would discourage people from going to get a tattoo because they wouldn't want their tattoo artist like judging them or having the ability to turn them away because they have a rash on their skin or because they look like they might have HIV.
While the DC proposal has yet to be passed, tattoo artists and body piercers aren't taking any chances. Jinx Proof Tattoo Shop has already established an online petition to stop consideration for the regulation. So far, it has over 5,000 signatures. Reporting for District Wire News, I'm Isabella Diaz.
Maryland is launching a new campaign against cyberbullying, and it's getting some help from Facebook. The pilot project will give teachers an easier way to report suspicions of cyberbullying. The Maryland campaign is the first of its kind in the nation. It is a specialized channel that flags for bullying content. The iTunes Music Library is losing ground to free streaming services as consumers evolve from downloading to own to streaming to listen. Now iTunes Radio is emulating sites like Pandora and Spotify. Isabel Diaz has the latest.
iTunes eventually became the leader in music, opening the gates for Pandora Radio and then the popular Spotify streaming service. Now, iTunes' 10-year run in first place is being challenged.
If I'm just using my computer, I don't usually use my playlists or my library unless there's like specifically one artist I just really want to listen to in that moment.
iTunes digital music sales in the US fell from 69% to 63%, while Pandora showed a consistent 47% growth from year to year. Yet, while Pandora makes a name for itself online, digital streaming continues to take on other popular forms and personalities.
Yes, y'all. Once again on this Wednesday afternoon, you are in tune to The Funk Box here on WVAU, American University's student-run internet radio. I am your host, DJ Raphael.
I listen to Spotify pretty much every day now, just because it's so convenient. Like most of the time, if I want to hear a certain song, I can just find it on Spotify, bring it up on my phone or on my computer, and I'll just start listening to it. And then I can keep going, like related artists, and then from that artist or related artists, and just branching off and encountering stuff that I would not have seen before.
Apple's place in the digital world may seem bleak, but it still has a dog in the digital fight. iTunes recently launched iTunes Radio, a Pandora-style radio service with stations users can create and customize. Best of all, it's free. Reporting for District Wire News, I'm Isabella Diaz.
She's a companion to millions every day. An Atlanta woman is claiming that she is the voice of Siri on Apple's iPhone. Susan Bennett admits that she recorded voiceovers 8 years ago for a client which later turned into Siri. While Apple isn't confirming Bennett's claims, professionals and a voiceover expert are backing Bennett. Eating like a caveman sound appealing? To many on alternative diets, it is. Terrence Stansberry has more.
Making lasagna without pasta takes a little extra work and eggplant. Kathleen McCoy fries the eggplant to make it the same consistency of pasta to follow the paleo diet. Based off the diet of cavemen, it excludes all processed foods, including grains.
When I'm not eating grain, I feel less full, but not less satisfied, just less like that stuffed full feeling that people get.
Nutritionists say fad diets like the paleo diet can be dangerous though, and recommend not cutting out certain foods altogether.
In order to make one of these fad diets a little bit safer, you incorporate more flexibility. So you make sure that you're not following it, to the extreme all the time.
Winston says she notices the paleo diets and gluten-free diets on the rise, but she says carbs, like all nutrients, have a place in the diet.
Food is just such a critical part of our culture that, when you become too rigid and too regimented about your food intake, it can very quickly lead to disordered eating.
McCoy is not immune to those cravings.
The food I miss most is probably pizza. It's so hard to make a paleo form of pizza that tastes like the real thing.
McCoy says she plans to keep up with the paleo diet though, and keep variety in her foods. For District Wire News, I'm Taryn Stansberry.
She can't stop and she won't stop. Miley Cyrus is causing a stir after her performance on Saturday Night Live of We Did Stop. The singer dressed up as U.S. Rep. Michelle Bachmann in the spoof about the government shutdown based on her hit We Can't Stop. Cyrus twerked in her hot pants and low-cut blazer in the skit about the GOP. Cyrus hosted Saturday's episode and was a musical guest, performing her recent hit Wrecking Ball. Her new album, Bangers, will be dropping tomorrow. Coming up after the break, changes in the Catholic Church. Pope Francis has the world talking. We have a special guest in our studio today, Father Carlos Quianjo, talk about the Pope. Stay with us.